They got problems on problems on problems on problems on problems on problems. I solve them. I run through the money. The pressure be calling. Left on my blessings. I feel like I'm falling. The birdie is back. Tell me I'm garbage. I'm going through something. That's why I ain't calling. Phone and progression is all that I wanted. The phone and affection. I summon it dummy.
Well, back on jack stands. What is going on, guys? Welcome back to the channel. I am so damn tired. This car's been kicking my ass, and it looks like it's raining outside. Perfect day for data logging. Anyways, so yesterday we were starting to put some miles on the car. We actually took the car to go get some CO2 filled, just so that I have it done. I don't need it right now, but that way I have it done, and I would put some miles on the car. So that place ended up being closed. We started heading back. We were way on the north side of town, not in a good area. And I got to the stop sign and I put the car in first, and the car would not move forward at all. So I thought maybe I was in the wrong gear or something. So I tried second, tried third, nothing was moving. The car wouldn't move at all. Revved it up just a little bit, car would not move. Looked under the car, sure enough, all the trans fluid was gone. Let me see if I can show you guys. Oh, you can see there's a massive leak down there, but if you look under the car, it is literally just covered. You can see how shiny it is. It looks like a mirror because it's just trans fluid everywhere. So yeah, one of those lines actually got burnt in the cage welding process. I don't know whose fault it is, so we'll just leave that at that, but there's literally trans fluid covering everything, and it's even on all over the back side of the car. So that'll be fun to clean. Anyways, so I posted last night in a local Facebook group. Luckily, some people had some 6-and line. So I'm gonna switch to this nice stainless steel braided line. This is actually a lot better for trans temp. Yeah, so because I typically use, it's like this black line. I guess it's not very good. So luckily someone had some of this nice AN stainless braided line, which is actually supposed to be better for trans. And I am actually getting some fittings from Brady this morning. So I got this off our buddy Will, and you guys all know Brady with the Corvette. I'm gonna go get some 6-and fittings so I can switch this all over to the nice line this morning, and then hopefully the rain stops so we can get back to some logging. Alright guys, so I finally got the new lines in. You can see them under there. Oh, there's a jack. So got the new lines and ran. Just got to fill up with some fluid. Also, turbo blanket came in, so we'll get that on the turbo. So hopefully I have enough fluid, because obviously I wasn't expecting for this to happen. So I've got a bunch of extra containers that just aren't, none of them are full. So hopefully I have enough fluid. If not, we'll have to put in what we have, and then tomorrow morning we'll have to go get some more, and then we can get back to breaking the car in and hopefully start some data logging, because, well, today's Sunday, and it's already Sunday at like 4 or 5 o'clock, so we're running really low on time. So let's get some fluid in the car, see where we get to. Look at that turbo blanket. I always like doing turbo blankets. They obviously help with the heat, and they make your turbo look bigger too. So I'm gonna start the car right now, kind of run through the gears while it's still jacked up. That way we can get the trans fluid going through the trans, and then we can get an accurate reading on the trans fluid level. I definitely think I need to go get some more, but we'll see where we're at. Alright guys, so yesterday we got the trans lines replaced. Everything's looking good as far as the transmission goes. Nothing was hurt, at least so far that we can tell. Transmission shifting good, trans brakes working, everything's working pretty good so far. I'm having a little bit of overheating issues, so trying to work through that. There was air in the system, and pretty much this line
that was the crossover. It was up top here, so I lowered it. I mean, it looks kind of ghetto with the clamps, but I had to lower it, put a little 90 in it, and I tried to drop it as low as I could so that it wouldn't create any air pockets. So the car's running a little bit better. It's definitely not getting as hot as it was earlier. I'm gonna try and burp it one more time. I am about to change the oil actually, so we're about to do the first oil change. Other than that, everything is looking decently okay. We really got to get the overheating under control. Like I said, it's not overheating right now, but it is getting decently hot. The car's smoking a little bit because it's trying to clean off, you know, any fluids that we spilled. Obviously, with the big trans spill, there's just fluid everywhere. I got part of the rear seat delete back in. I got the bottom part in. I just got the CO2 tank mounted. Just got that filled up. I got to put the back part of the seat delete in. But if we do make it to 2K, I'm still not sure if the car's going to make it, but it's pretty much going to go like this. As you guys know, I broke the dash when I was taking the dash out and just haven't had time to get another one. So, yeah, car looks super ghetto right now, but it is what it is. Just got to run it like that for now. And that's a pretty normal sight for this car. So guys, it's super bright out. It is Tuesday. We're supposed to leave tonight, really, really late tonight. And of course, well, I've ran into more issues with the car. So yesterday, had problems with the car overheating. Huge thanks to my buddy Joseph Huffman. He helped me get the air pockets out of the car. We actually used one of those vacuum bleeders, got all the air pockets out. So we were able to fix that issue. Then when I went to start tuning, 2 of the 3 fuel pumps weren't turning on. So there's a Hobbs switch. If you guys don't know what a Hobbs switch is, it's like a little vacuum switch, and that typically turns on the other 2 fuel pumps in the tank under vacuum, under boost, but I guess that switch went bad. So I ended up just hardwiring the pumps. Usually if you drive the car a lot on the street, you typically don't want to have those hardwired all the time, but since this car mostly sees track, it won't be too big of a deal. Plus, probably just doing that for 2K, and then we'll fix the Hobbs switch later. So then, after all that was said and done, I hardwired the pumps. The car still had a little bit of pump gas in it, so I was trying to get that out. I was trying to flush it with some E85 from VP, because I actually only had 10 gallons of Ignite lift. So I went and bought some VP trying to flush the system out. I ended up just pulling the fuel hat on the tank and draining some of the gas out of there with this little pump that I have. And then I went to drive the car last night to make sure all the pump was out, and I got it all out, topped it off with some Ignite E90 because I figured I'll just buy some and we'll take it to Houston. And I made a hit with the car on gate pressure, and gate pressure is 4 pounds of boost, held it just fine. So today when we went to start, actually no, last night I then went back out at 1 a.m. to make a late night hit so I could give John Lund Jr. some data to work off of this morning. And so I put the car back on like 8 pounds, 10 pounds, and it went to 15 pounds. Now, I thought the reason for that was because the car's on CO2. So what it does is it pushes that CO2 on top of the spring. So if I have a 4 pound spring in there and I put 10 pounds, it's probably around 15, 16 pounds. It's not a 1-to-1 ratio. So that's where I kind of messed up, was I put too much on the controller. So I figured, I'll just wait till the morning. I'll make some more hits. Well, I went to turn the boost controller down to about 6 pounds of dome pressure, and it actually did the same thing. It still spiked up to like 15, 16 PSI, and I actually let out because I didn't want it to go any higher than that, which I think it would have kept climbing. So all day today I've been trying to fix the boost controller because we're guessing it's a boost controller issue. I rewired the dome pressure sensor because we thought that might not be working. I checked all the vacuum lines, all the CO2 lines, all that stuff is actually good to go. We don't think it's a boost leak because it does hold gate pressure. Now gate pressure is only 4 pounds, but it does hold it. So since it's creeping up top when the turbo actually hits, that's why we think it's something to do with the dome pressure sensor, or you can't see them, I don't think. There we go. Or the actual solenoids themselves. Like I said, I checked the wiring on that, checked all the fittings, checked all the wiring inside the car, everything checks out. But with this AMS 1000, it typically shows dome pressure on there, and it's not showing dome pressure. So it has to be this sensor, or there could even potentially be a leak somewhere. But I've checked all the lines, I haven't found any leaks. So the problem is that it is now almost 4 o'clock. on Tuesday. Like I said, we're supposed to leave super late tonight. And we're just really running out of time. This car's been kicking my ass. So if you guys don't know, we put a brand new sleeve motor in from RPG, did a bigger turbo. Joe fabbed a whole new turbo kit. We put bigger injectors, ID 1700X's from Lethal Performance. Did a roll cage. After the roll cage was installed, we found out that the fuel tank had caught fire and there was a hole in the fuel tank. Replaced the fuel tank. Then after getting all that back together, Joe finished up the turbo kit. Come to find out, I was making some break-in miles and the trans lines blew. So Sunday morning, I spent half the day probably remaking the trans lines, finding them first of all on a Sunday. Huge shout out to Brady and Will. They had some trans line for me, so I made the trans lines, and then of course, when I went to go make some hits on the car, the weather in Amarillo did not want to cooperate. It started pouring rain. So I lost half of Sunday. Monday comes around, I start trying to work on the tuning, find the overheating issues, the fuel pump issues, and now it's Tuesday and we've got overboosting issues. So it's literally been one thing after another this whole entire time. I have not caught a break with this car. And the biggest thing I was trying to do is just make it to 2K. I still have some Motion Racework limiters I need to put on. I still have Viking coilers I need to put on. I still need to put the dash back in the car. There's not even a dash in the car. The car looks terrible right now. It's got trans fluid all over it. And I've kind of just been putting all that off because I'm really just trying to get the car running and get it down the track at 2K in a safely manner. Still going fast, but it's just not happening. And we've been trying to diagnose issues this past 2 weeks, and we're finally on the last day, and I just don't think we're gonna make it at this point. So I'm gonna end the video here, but like I said, guys, it's not looking good. Like today, I was supposed to get an oil change on the truck. I still have to go get the trailer from Leroy. I still have to pack all my stuff. I still have to pack all the stuff for the car. I still got to put the front bumper on the car. I still got to put some of the interior bits back in the car. Still got to mount the parachute handle. Just a bunch of little stuff. And yeah, it's just not looking good. So you guys will find out on the next video if the car actually makes it to 2K, but at this point, it's just not looking good, guys. I tried. I've been working day and night on this car. Like anytime I had free time, I was working on the car, staying up till 1, 2 a.m., waking up early, working on the car, overnighting parts from Japan. Not really from Japan because I want coronavirus, although that's not from Japan. But anyways, I've been working my ass off trying to get this thing ready. Huge thanks to John Lund Jr., Lund Tuning, for helping me out. He's been a big help lately, and he's been working through the issues with me. And unfortunately, I think the Mustang has finally defeated us. But I'll still be at 2K. Hopefully I can see some of you guys out there, but hopefully you like this video. I'll see you guys on the next one.
They got problems on problems on problems on problems on problems on problems. I solve them. I run through the money. Depression be calling. Left on my blessings. I feel like I'm falling. The birdie is back. Tell me I'm garbage. I'm going through something. That's why I ain't calling. Phone and progression is all that I wanted. The phone and affection. I summon it double.